What's up, everybody? Tony Cutillo right here on the Tony Cutillo Show. Bo Bichette to the Phillies. Is it real? Is it legit? Is it complete bullshit? Who knows? Is it off-season smoke? Just like Snoop Dogg said, we will find out. Get involved, like, subscribe. As always, you know the drill, man. Do we have to say like and subscribe of everything, man? If you're not liking, subscribing now, guess what? Oh, well. Okay? Guess you don't like me now. It's all good. But listen, if you're looking on Facebook, get over there to YouTube. Okay, pop on that YouTube stream. Get those comments going. How you feeling? What do you think? I don't listen. I used to. One thing I would say is I used to think everything is smoke, right? But now, the more that I think about things, obviously they're very strategic. What's up, Adam? Checking in. But for the most part, man, I look at this and I want to really understand why I still have people that are pissed off about it. We still have people that are right away, they don't want anything to do with it. We'll get into, do we think it's real? Do we think it's not real? Right? Or why I feel like this is an absolute no-brainer. And I got a lot of Facebook comments because what I did, because a lot of times Facebook doesn't come on here, but I have a really good influential audience that is on Facebook that I really respect. And a lot of people write a lot of comments on it. So I'm gonna read them live on the show right now because obviously they don't always come through here on the StreamYard platform. But there's a lot of things to break down from this. But before I even start, I just want to let everybody know. Listen, I get that today was the first day that it came out that legitimately it's been reported. But I just want everybody out there creating content, everybody out there that has a podcast or a stream or a show. All I want to say is, listen, you can do the same thing. Okay. This information that's being reported. Okay. Yes. As of today, right? As of today, and now it has credible legs. Okay. However, if you're like me, you were talking about it 2 weeks ago. Okay. And not because with no sources, none of that bullshit. But what I'm saying is just put the pieces together and figure it out. The nuggets are out there. Okay. They're out there. You don't always need somebody to tell it to you. All you need to do is go read the nuggets, figure out what it is, put your own spin on it. Because guess what? A lot of these dudes, a lot of these people are doing the same damn thing after it's been credible and reported. Okay. Listen. Let's wait one thing for certain. The Phillies like JT Realmuto. They absolutely love JT Realmuto. However, they have a limit. We keep talking about this. They have a limit. Okay? This is a 34 going on 35-year-old catcher that already had a knee clean out last year, who hit 12 home runs in a very, very mild offensive year last year. Okay? Very, very simple. So, again, when you look at that, you can't tell me that organization says, yeah, you know what, we want to commit 3 years or 4 years at $25 to $30 million. No. Why would they? Right? Why would they? However, out of necessity, we're all trying to buy in and believe they have to friggin' do it. They just have to do it because they got no options. Well, guess what? I think personally, Dave Dombrowski, right? He finally said, you know what? I'm coming with my balls swinging right here. Okay. That's what he said. He said, I got a set of balls. I'm whipping them out on the table. And I'm saying, you know what? All right, JT, you felt disrespected. All right. Even though we made you the highest AAV paid catcher in Major League Baseball, you felt disrespected. Right now, all of a sudden, you want to stall negotiations and you want to put like a standstill. Where, like, when I was in a union, the one thing we would always say: negotiations never be an impasse. Never say the word impasse. And now it's like, oh my god, we're going to throw the impasse mark out there. You know what? Screw it. Because at the end of the day, let's just look at it realistically. Okay, everybody that's bitching and complaining about, oh, who's going to be the catcher, right? Who's going to be? I don't care. Is the Philadelphia Phillies the only legitimate team in Major League Baseball that has to have an A-plus catcher? And here's what I will say. I know what the argument's going to be. about the pitching staff and about how they're comfortable with them, right? I fully understand that. However, where did it get you? Did it get you to chip? This finally has to be the time when we have to start saying we want a goddamn World Series any way we can get it. Anyway, and if that means that we have to take a back seat on defense for a little bit, okay, and maybe not get a guy with the best pop rate in Major League Baseball. And by the way, maybe JT might not have the best pop rate next year. We shall see. I don't know. Okay, but all I know is I want to get different. I want to get different. I want to be something that's different because we have thrown out the same lineup, right? The same methodology, right? We've had the same goddamn arguments for why he should be here. Well, guess what? I understand it. I love JT. I think he's one of the probably top 2, top 3 catchers we've ever seen in Philadelphia, right? Defensively, probably the absolute best. Okay, great person. I get all that. However, we ain't got no freaking trophy from it. We got nothing, right? We got nothing. We got a lot of good memories and some good wins. But at the end of the day, we still don't have a goddamn trophy. Remember John Middleton? I'm bringing my effing trophy back. I'm bringing the effing trophy back to Philadelphia. Well, guess what? You know how you get the effing trophy back? You grow a set of balls, you throw them up on a table, and you say, you know what? Screw all the logistics. Screw all the analytics. We're going to go all in, and we're going to flip the shit out of this script. And you know how you flip it? You trade Alec Bohm, okay? Because he don't want to be here anyway. Listen, I know, and I'm going to get to my man Jim's comment. No, my man Jim, why get rid of Bohm? I understand, and I respect Jim. Jim was one hell of a baseball mind. But to Jim, I will ask this, okay? It's not that I'm trying to run Alec Bohm out of here. What I'm saying is, if it's going to cost me Alec Bohm to get Bo Bichette, then I will drive him to whatever airport, whatever train station. Listen, I'll hire a goddamn private Uber. I don't care. I will take him or get him there. And I understand it's not a trade. What I'm saying is wherever you have to, or it is a trade, I'm sorry. But wherever you have to trade him, it is what it is, right? This is about how do we make this lineup better? Right now, this lineup is dying for a consistent right-handed power bat. Are we not? Right? Are we not? Alec Bohm is a great hitter when he's healthy and when he's hitting the ball to all yards, but he's not a cleanup hitter. He's not a power hitter. Stop telling me that we're going to bank our World Series hopes on Adolis Garcia. Please stop. Please stop. You're kidding yourself, man. Like, if you are in Philadelphia right now and you're saying that you're happy with Adolis Garcia as your right-handed power bat, man, you don't know baseball. You just don't. You're not following it. And I mean that respectively or respectfully, as much as I can, right? As much as I can. You have a team right now. You have a team right now that may not be as good in the pitching staff this year, right? Let's think about it. You're going to lose Ranger Suarez. We already know that. You're losing Ranger Suarez. We have to hope, and I'm not saying that he's not, but we have to hope, it's encouraging, right, that Zach Wheeler is going to be back to where he needs to be. Jesus Luzardo, who just signed a huge tender, right? He broke some records with $11.2 million tender, okay, or arbitration number. And we got to hope that he continues to say, I want to be the next guy to get paid and just ball out, right? We have to hope that. We have to hope that Andrew Painter, all the Instagram posts about Andrew Painter, ramp it up and throw it and get right. We got to hope that shit comes into fruition. Is that going to happen on the Major League Baseball mound? Is he going to finally live up to all the hype? Is he going to be healthy? How many times have I said friggin' if? If. So again, if I continue to say if, that means we don't know. You know what I do know? What I do know is that if I had Bo Bichette, to this team. And again, he has one if, and that's health. That's it, which everybody has. Everybody has the if healthy scenario. But if Bo Bichette is healthy, if he's healthy, okay, if he's healthy, he's a game changer. He instantly changes this lineup. Instantly, okay? Instantly. So let's think about this. Let's go back to Bo Bichette. And let's just look at 21, 22, and 23. Okay? 21, 22, and all three of these years, okay? Two of these years, he's an all-star. Okay? But that's when he's at 20 plus home runs. His big year, obviously, is 2021 when he hits 29 and 102. And then the following year, he follows up, okay, with 24 and 93. Okay, but what I want to say is, have you looked at Bo Bichette's average? Can I ask you that? Are people legitimately looking at this the right way? All the people that are telling me no, all the people that are saying why, no, we don't understand what we're going to lose with JT. Okay, yeah, I don't understand. 257, 12 home runs, 52 RBIs, and 129 hits. So what that tells me is we had a guy in the lineup, okay, that was very mediocre. Again, offensively, defensively, absolute stud. He's a stalwart. I get it. However, how many games do you attribute to JT winning specifically with his defense? And whatever that amount of games are, how many did we lose because overall our lineup from the right-hand side wasn't good enough? And if you add Bichette into that mix and say what he elevates compared to what we lost, I guarantee you at the most it's a wash, which means the ceiling is even higher, that Bichette gives you more. It's very simple. Bo Bichette, 298. Let me just, all right, let's do it this way. Where in the seasons where he had over 100 games, all right, which is, listen, we got to go for 2021 because that's when he became a basically a full-time player. Okay, 2021, 159 games. He batted 298. 159 games in 2022. Bat 290. Okay, in 2023, here's what people. He started to decline. He only hit 20 home runs. Okay, he played in 135 games, so he missed close to 30 games. Okay, however, his strikeouts dropped from 155 to 115, and he batted 306. And then last year he played 139 games, he batted 311, and hit 18 home runs. So here's what I want to ask. All the people that want to give me about Alec Bohm is a tremendous hitter. Okay? Well, guess what? In Bichette, I'm getting the hitter and the power stroke. And he's 27 years old. He's 27 years old. People, why do we not want Bo Bichette? I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, the other argument is, who plays catcher? Right? Who plays catcher? That's a lot of people want to know. Who's going to play? That's a lot of people are asking me. Who plays catcher? Right? So let me look on my board here. Okay? Let me look on my board here. And I got a lot of people. So first of all, my boy Greg says, who's your catcher? So I respond, I get that argument. Trust me. But if you flip the lineup with the bat, you can live with a lower tier option with good defense, kind of like Victor Carantini, right? I will talk about him in a minute. So my boy Eric says, I'm not against it. I just didn't think it was possible. I thought he was going to the Yankees. I hope and pray I'm wrong. What would be great is the Eagles win on Sunday. Yeah, I get it, brother. He says Middleton needs to fly him out and take him to the Eagles game. I love it. My man Joe, where would they ever find 12 home runs? That's a knock on JT, right? And then my man Jim, he says, and I love Jim. He says, why get rid of Bone? I want Bichette, but to play second base. Keep Bone and then slide Miller there next season. I want to keep Bone as a slightly above average right-handed bat and not get a right-handed hitter to replace another right-handed hitter. That's an interesting comment, an interesting argument. What I personally would say, is I look at it a different way. Number one, you're moving Bone because of the money. Okay, you're moving Bone because of the money. It is what it. You unfortunately, we still, even though we don't have a salary cap, we do have a salary cap in Philadelphia. So we need to move Bone for the money. And let's be honest, for some reason, there was even some whispers that during the arbitration stuff that there were some issues, between the representation of Alec Boehm and the Phillies. Like the Phillies said it was a little bit of a rocky relationship, or rocky discussion. And that's my thing. Like, I honestly think that they don't want Alec Boehm. They just tendered him a $10.2 million. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. You got to move Boehm at 10.2 and what you were going to pay JT at probably 24 or 25 to get you anywhere between 33 and 35 million, because you're going to pay Bo Bichette $30+ million. Now, the biggest question that everybody has is that who do they put in to play catcher? And I know there was people talking about Minnesota, Ryan Jeffers, a guy you would have to trade for. Then there's Victor Caratini. Now, can we let me just talk about Victor Caratini for 1 second? And the reason why I say it's something that you have to think about. Victor Caratini, this is the number one, Victor Caratini's numbers. Okay. Here's the funny thing. Last year, his numbers, again, and this is why I love bringing this stuff up, because I don't think everybody looks at this. Last year, he hit 259. JT hit 257. Caratini hit 12 home runs. JT hit 12 home runs. Caratini knocked in 46 RBIs. JT knocked in 52. Caratini had 89 hits. JT had more at 129. Now, so basically, you're really not losing or gaining anything, right? It's like Jim said when he talked about Alec Boehm, it's hitter for hitter. Now, when we look at Victor Caratini and look at what his knocks are, Victor Caratini's defense, he's known for a strong pitch frame and game calling, making him a pitcher's best friend. However, hampered by declining arm strength, slow pop times, and poor caught stealing rates, especially recently. Though he's a reliable fielder with good overall baseball IQ, he excels at framing and studying pictures, but struggles to throw out runners. So there, obviously, yes, you just look at what he did the last 2 years, okay, in Houston. But the whole point I have about this is, you're going to have to give up something when if you allow JT to walk, meaning you're going to give up something that he offers, and that's going to be the high pop rate and the high caught stealing rate. However, if you have a better defensive outfield, okay, that will at least elevate the opportunities to keep guys going from second to home and possibly getting a higher assist rate to throw those guys out. So we could call, analytics any way you want here and say, okay, a couple percentage here, a couple percentage here. The biggest difference, like I'm saying, is flipping this lineup that has not been able to get it done. And Bo Bichette is a guy that flips the lineup. Bo Bichette is a guy that flips the lineup. Now, Adam's asking about Adley Rutschman. That's a guy you would have to trade for. And again, I love Adley, but he's going to cost a lot. So I don't think that's viable. My man Jimmy checking in says, Philly should give the Reds a call about Jose Trevino. Listen, Jimmy, I am in to get a call from anybody, honestly, because right now I think what the Philadelphia fan base that are all about we need to keep JT has to understand is it's another mainstay, right? It's another mainstay. Like I started this offseason and I specifically said about Kyle Schwarber, I wasn't willing to give Kyle Schwarber 150 plus $1 million. And again, it's not that I don't like Kyle Schwarber. I love Kyle Schwarber. I think he's a fantastic person, a fantastic player, a fantastic teammate, and he has flipped the script on the whole DH thing and shown the ability to play in the field if need be. However, how long does that last? I don't know. And how much has that gotten us to the promised land? 0 times. Okay. So my whole point is we have gone in and out the last 3 years with this same lineup and the same methodology, and it has gotten us 0 championships. Eventually, you have to flip the script. Bring us back to football for a second. Okay. Andy Reid. For years and years and years, Andy Reid developed the same concept, right? The same concept where he said, I'm not going to get A+ wide receivers. I'm not going to do it. And we're going to be able to win. And guess what? He never won. He finally got TL one year that blew up in his face. Okay. And he continued on, but he could never win the big game. So what did the Eagles have to do? They had to move on. They had to flip the script. So Andy goes to KC and he wins out there. Now, I know that's a coach. What I'm saying is you just cannot keep everything stagnant and just hope that this is the year. And I think that's the problem. The Phillies, in my opinion, and a lot of Philly fans, they just want to continue down the same path and just say, this will be the year. This will be the year. This will be the year, right? And that's not always the case. Jimmy says Phillies fans need to understand. Jimmy, you are speaking gospel, my brother. You are speaking gospel. Philly fans need to understand JT is 34. At 34 years, everyday catcher in today's game ain't going to cut it. And Jimmy, I totally agree. And I said this a long time ago that, yes, it's great that JT is an Iron Man and JT catches every single freaking day. However, when it comes to money and when it comes to contract and it comes to ROI and it comes to negotiations, that's actually a negative when you're 34, 35 years old coming out from a knee clean out. It just is, right? It is. So, again, I last thing I said before I asked the question, do we think this is real? Okay, I just want to say that the whole point, in my opinion, is just flipping the lineup because I think, listen, people, please let me just say this last point, like because I'm gonna get so annoyed going back and forth, because I don't think everybody's looking at it realistically the right way that I am. And I'm not saying they're wrong like that. What I'm saying is when they come back at me with certain comments, I don't understand because we never lost because of pitching. We haven't lost because of pitching. There's not one playoff game. There's not one World Series we lost because our pitching didn't show up. We lost because we couldn't hit the friggin' ball. We lost because the lineup went cold. We lost because everybody said, no matter what, this lineup can't be beat. Well, guess what? It was beat. It was defeated. So why are we consistently wanting to come back with the same lineup? Again, it's that false hope that we're saying, well, this will be the year they put it all together. This will be the year they put it all together. Not always the case, man. It's not always the case. That's one thing you say about, the Dodgers. And I know the Dodgers are in a class by themselves, but the Dodgers always say, we're going to go out and get that big time bat. Right? We're going to go out because if it didn't work, we're going to go out and make it work. Phillies aren't doing that right now. Okay? And if they do that, it's to go after a guy like Bichette. And that's why I'm all in. Now, the question I have, is it smoke or is it fire? Is it legitimate? Do we think this is legitimate? If you're in Philadelphia right now, let me know. Do you think this is? Do you think the interest and the not the narrative, but do you think that this chase is real? Do you think that the Phillies are just teasing us and setting us up, or do you legitimately think that this is real? That's the question I have, right? That's the question because I'm back and forth, right? And I know if you go on X or you follow different people. I know Johnny Marks just retweeted an article from another site where Bob Nightingale's quoted as saying, you know what? Two executives are saying that there's no way that they sign him because it's going to be too hard for them to trade Alec Bohm, right? A lot of here's my thing, man. This is what I will say too, and I think a lot of people will agree with this. So if you tell me that we lose out on Bo Bichette because we couldn't find a trade partner for Alec Bohm, that means you don't want to spend stupid money anymore. That's what that means. Because here's the thing, if you want to spend stupid money, if you want to go all in this year, and again, we did spend stupid money. When you made the comment with Bryce Harper, you spent stupid money. That was stupid money at that time. Okay? It was at that time. Right now, you gotta up your game to spend stupid money. So if you want to make that statement and say you're going all in, what you are going to do is whether you find a trade partner right now or not, it doesn't matter. You're going to go sign Bo Bichette, and you're going to figure it out later. And you're going to say, I'm going to eat 10 mil. Okay, I'm going to eat 10 mil. Because here's the thing that pisses me off. Here's the thing that really pisses me off. You're telling me that two things need to happen in order for them to sign Bo Bichette. And that is they're not going to re-sign JT, and they got to trade Alec Bohm. Why? Just say that we're not going to re-sign JT and then we're going to sign Bichette because the only difference is another $10 million. So you're going to tell me that $10 million right now until you figure it out, okay, is going to hinder your offseason plan? Well, guess what? If that's the case, maybe you shouldn't be upping this season tickets down Citizens Bank Park. Maybe you shouldn't be so high on concessions, right? Maybe you shouldn't be doing that then because obviously you're not willing to spend stupid money. You're not willing to spend stupid money. Your opportunity is now. Your opportunity is absolutely right now. John Cena, right? Can't see me. Time is now. The time is now. If you, Mr. Middleton, if you want to make real on your statement of spending stupid money, staying competitive, and bringing an effing trophy back to Philadelphia, you are going to make sure somehow, some way, Bo Bichette is a Philadelphia Philly. And you're going to worry about the financials later. Because guess what? This is where I'll call bullshit. You mean to tell me that a guy, Dave Dombrowski, who has orchestrated some of the best trades in Major League Baseball history, who has assembled some of the best rosters in Major League Baseball history, can't figure out a way to trade a $10.2 million 27-year-old slugging third baseman in Alec Bohm? Get out of here. Come on. No way. Think about how ridiculous that is. Think about it. And that's my problem. See, nobody brings all these things up. They just blanket statements. Oh, well, they can't do it. They can't do this. They can't do that. They can't do that. They don't really dive into it. My man Jimmy says, could they not be willing to spend because they know there's going to be a lengthy lockout after 2026? I thought about that, J-Dog. I did. I thought about that. But you know what? I don't really care because other teams aren't worried about that, right? Or that would be like every team's worried about that. So if that's the case, then I guess we just go stagnant, right? If that was the case, Jimmy, which I agree with you, I've thought about this, but I don't mean if that's the case to you. I'm talking about to them. If that's the case, then why did they sign Kyle Schwarber at all that money, right? See, that's my problem. That's my problem. They can't sugarcoat this. Okay, they can't sugarcoat this. I am telling you right now, if they come out everything is in place. Everything is in place. You have the players that are texting Bo. You got his bench coach that he loves and Don Mattingly, right? You have money because you haven't signed JT. You have money. And I'm telling you right now, if they sign JT and cave into JT, and obviously then that means they don't sign, but I'm going to be pissed. That's another thing about this. This is going to make me like JT even less. And I like JT Realmuto. I do. But this is going to make me like him even less because now I'm going to be so pissed off that he could be the reason why I don't have Bo Bichette. And everybody's like, listen, Bo Bichette in this park, think about it. In this park with those home runs go out to left field, are you serious? He's going to hit 30. He's going to hit 30. You're going to have a guy we could be talking. Let's be real. We could be talking about a certified MVP in the making at Bo Bichette if he comes to Citizens Bank Park. And if you get Bo Bichette, I think the highest he's ever finished in the MVP race is 6. I think it was 6. No, 11. The highest he's ever finished is 11, 2022. If you can get MVP Bo Bichette, an MVP would be Bo Bichette can legitimately come in here and hit over 300 and obviously and hit 30 home runs, 30 plus. He's hit 28. Okay, he's hit 28, so it's not far fetched. So he can hit say he hits 32, 33, knocks in 110. He's going to be an MVP candidate, and he damn near can win it. And if that's the case, that is going to flip this lineup to another level. Then you can talk about the what ifs. Then you can talk about, well, if Adolis Garcia comes in, that's great. If Brandon Martin, if Otto Kemp, if then the ifs are okay because I got a constant in Bo Bichette. You hear me? I got a constant in Bo Bichette. Right now, you know what I got? Nothing. I got the same team that's actually statistically worse than it was last year and a lot of question marks. So in the end, if the Phillies want to actually be real, if Money Middleton, remember we were at Money Middleton, if Money Middleton wants to be real, and let me ask you this too. Why again are the Dodgers and I think the Mets did a little bit with Soto's contract, but how come nobody else is deferring money to some of these players, right? And, I don't know how that works, but I just feel like that seems like a win-win for everybody. So that's just something that just popped into my head as I'm thinking of more ways for them to go out and spend. Jimmy says, put him in front of Schwarber, and oh my God, think about that. If you put him in front of Schwarber and Harper. Well, here's the thing, Jimmy. I need Bo instantly to be the cleanup guy. That's my point here in Philly. He needs to be the cleanup guy. That's where he needs to bat. Okay? He needs the bat cleanup. He does. And now you get so much better. Think about that top 4. Trey Turner, Schwarber, Harper, and Bichette. Are you friggin' kidding me? How do you not get Woody's thinking about that? I mean, that is one hell of a 1, 2, 3, 4. One hell of a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's exciting. That's exciting. So, you think about it. You think about it and you go, I can see this all come together. But the problem is, again, hopefully this shit is real. Hopefully the fix isn't in where the Philadelphia Phillies are teasing us again. Let me see if I have. Yeah, I mean, again, this is something. This is something that we really have to dive into. This is something we have to look into. So again, reports come out. Bo Bichette gets a meeting with the Phillies coming up in the next coming days. Is it real? Is it a legit move? Is it off-season smoke? I say, Jimmy says, dude, I'm jealous. I root for a team, then plays in a bandbox and no one hits 40 home runs. Just all right, Jimmy from Cincinnati, right? Jimmy from Cincinnati. Yeah, we'll give you Casty back. How's that? I love Casty, by the way. I do. I think he's getting a raw deal out here in Philly, but we give you Casty back, Jimmy. How's that? We give you Casty back. But listen, man, I'm going to get out of here. This was fun. As always, try to pop on here every day for 30 minutes to an hour. Stay tuned. Probably about 20 minutes, half hour. You'll get some Philly sports unfiltered with me and Tom Arnone over at A2D Radio, which will be hitting the airwaves probably in about 30 minutes. We'll get into that. We'll see what we're going to talk. Probably talk about the same damn thing, but different audience. Get into some Eagles talk and some Sixers talk, like we always do. But again, make sure you like and subscribe right here. Tony Cutillo Show. Again, not just Philly, right? I listen. I have Philly roots, bro. Like I bleed Philly. However, I like to talk everything. Right? I miss my Sirius XM days. I like to talk everything. I hope one day you'll hear me back on Sirius XM. Only because I just loved it, right? I love talking so many different things. So that's why I started this up, so I can continue to talk so many different things. Probably maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. I got a big party tomorrow night, but I'm gonna try to hop on tomorrow night or early Saturday morning and do a little playoff DFS, little playoff fantasy, little playoff sports betting. Hook up some parlays, some bets, obviously, like we do, courtesy of BetQL and Odds Hopper Tails. We'll try to do that. So just make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow at Tony Cutillo Show. Having a lot of fun on TikTok. Let's go over to TikTok, getting a lot of good content over at TikTok. A lot of, listen, I cut this up. People, you've created a monster. That's all I'm going to tell you. You've created a monster. In 2026, I said it's time to be consistent. It's time to say, screw it. Gloves are off. I'm going all in. I'm here to battle. I'm here to show out, man. I'm here to show out. And in closing, I'd like to say this. Anybody who, and I just started this last night, and I already got a couple people. So anybody who has a story to tell, I want to help tell it. Okay? One thing about my background is I have a PR marketing background. I run my own PR company. I do marketing and PR for a lot of big-time companies, St. Rocco's Treats, Colonial, Nissan, okay, companies that, bring me in to talk strategy. The reason why I say that, is I want to bring a little bit of a PR element to this by bringing some sports media stories to the fold, because I think a lot of sports media stories need to be told. People that have gotten screwed, people that have actually climbed and on their second turn have been successful, people that have been let go for zero reason over bullshit politics or bullshit narratives why they shouldn't be where they're at. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I did everything the right way for so long, right? And I continue to do things the right way for me. However, I do think there's a time in people's career where they say to themselves, you know what? Has this got me where I need to go? Right. But I've always been Jigsaw. I've always been a guy who talks with his emotions on his sleeve. And I know there's a lot of people that are afraid to do that. Well, I want to give you the ability and a platform to do that with the gloves off. Right. Unfiltered, meaning you say whatever you want. There's no FCC rules on here. Okay. And I'm not saying come on here and bury people. What I'm saying is I want to raise awareness to everybody. I do it with my youth sports podcast. Okay, Fighting for Overtime. I do it with my youth sports podcast. And I do it because I like to raise awareness. Not everything's all perfect. Not everything's all roses. Not everything is where people think, oh, it's, this person's a really nice person. Or these people over here, they're really nice. They do everything for everybody. Where in the background, guess what? Maybe they're not. And guess what? I'm not trying to say, let's bury that person. What I'm saying is raise awareness just to keep your guard up. Right? You got to keep your guard up. You got to be careful. That's all I'm saying. You got to be careful. But I also want to highlight success stories, man, because there's a lot of people that come from the ground up that have built a tremendous platform. And their awareness part is showing people how much work it is. Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I wasn't and not willing to give my entire life up for this. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Because again, I don't want to live contract to contract. I don't want to live like that. I never want to live like that, right? If people want to do that's great. Okay, but I don't want to be every 2 years say, "Oh, out of work, looking for a job. Got let go by this network, looking for a new one." I never wanted to do that. I didn't want to do that. You know what makes me happy? You know who guys I look at like in Philly radio always say a guy like John Johnson that loves his job and does shit at night. I was a big Daddy Graham fan, right? And for people in Philadelphia, but my thing is I loved when I was on Sirius because it was late night, right? Give me my 2 hours, once a week. I'm happy, bro. Like I'm not trying to break the bank anywhere. And I think that there's people out there, but the problem is people that go all in, right? They go in. I credit them to the 10th degree because that's extremely hard to do. Not knowing if you're going to be kept on, not knowing where your next paycheck's going to come from, right? Not knowing all that. That's a big risk, right? And that's a risk. That's why, listen, I'm 47 years old. I ain't got time to do that shit. I can't do that. I can't be saying I'm looking for a job every year. I don't want to do that. To me, that's irresponsible. And that's what this industry has become, in my opinion. So I want people to talk about that, right? I look at a lot of guys that have started their own thing. I want to see if I can get Jared Smith on. Jared Smith's a great dude in a sports betting space that is, on TV, has done a lot of different radio. Now he's starting his own thing the morning after, right? And he's seen a lot of it. He's seen a lot of it, good and bad. And he's been up to the highest level at one time, right? So and again, it's not to like, hey, Jared, who's an asshole? No, it's hey, Jared, what kind of stories can you give us to help, right? For people to say, listen, this wasn't all roses. This did happen, right? And just remember something. Last thing I'll say is just because something happens, it doesn't mean you know that that is dead forever, right? But although I can't be the person to look over things and act like it didn't happen. I have my stories too. Everybody has stories. And I just think it's good for people to be able to put it out there. Okay? It's good for people to put it out there because at least that raises awareness, right? It should be. You should raise awareness. Like you can't just scroll through social media and think everything's perfect. So if you have a story to tell, okay, we're going to be doing one-on-one interviews on the Tony Cutillo Show. One-on-one interviews, whether it be live right here if you're in a Philly area, but it'd be live in my in-house studio, or it'd be live right here on Zoom. My first one's going to be coming up. Got my man JP coming on, which I can't wait for. I just cannot wait for my man JP to come on. Great content creator, does a lot of work, dude for the union, worked for PHLY. He was the producer at PHLY for Gargano, right? And then what happened? He was let go along with Renee Washington. And I think that there was a lot of bad vibes with that, man. I think this dude put his full foot forward and kind of got screwed in the end. So he's going to come on and tell his story. He's going to talk about, what it was like, on the highs and the lows. So people can get a really good viewpoint of how it all works. So as always, man, like, subscribe, stay tuned. Probably about 20 minutes. We'll be live. Philly Sports Unfiltered, being Tom Ornone, A2D Radio. Like he says, the best in the business, right? I'm gonna steal his no notes. My man T. Can't wait. But again, Bo Bichette is a legit move. Offseason spoke. Get in the comments. I'm always active in the comments, and I'll hit you up there. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you back here on the Tony Cutillo Show. Stay tuned next time.
Yeah.